feel the need to show off. I don't know. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sneha and I make videos related to books, and today's video is part 2 of my bookshelf tour, where I show you the rest of my classics collection and show you my organization on this shelf of my bookshelf. If you haven't seen part 1 of my bookshelf yet, I'll link it up above. Please watch it, where I show you a lot of my other classics books and other miscellaneous genres which I have, which you can partly see, I think, up here. But yeah, if you want a detailed view of that, then watch that video. So yeah, today I am taking you over the rest of my classics collection and then show you how I arranged them over here. The disclaimer remains the same. Since this is classics we're talking about, I like collecting a lot of editions, and I've built a collection over the past few years, and I've not read a lot of these books, so please don't come for me. Book collecting and book reading are two completely different hobbies, I think, and today I'm showing off my book hoarding hobby, so to say. So yeah, same with the previous video, I have a lot of collections of editions and I'll be grouping them together and taking you over the books that I have from each collection. They're not a lot, I would say. Like, I don't have like 20 of the same publisher editions, but I have like 3-4 and stuff like that. So yeah, that's enough rambling, I think. Without any further ado, let's start this video. Okay, so let's start with the first stack. Now, the first stack is a bunch of miscellaneous thrifted editions. Some of them are new editions as well, which I have. I don't think any of them are similar to the rest of them, but I think that they're great finds, and there's some great thrift picks over there. So let me quickly take you over each of them. This particular stack actually sits right here, and the first subset of that stack is this bundle of books. Let me show you each of them. I have Persuasion by Jane Austen. This was a Secret Santa gift last year. My Secret Santa sent me 6 books and this is one of them. I've shown you a couple of the other gifts in the previous video. And then I have The Mill on the Floors by George Eliot. This is also thrifted from the Flora Fountain Book Market. I think I have a video on that, which I'll link up above. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I've read this and I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a great gothic thriller kind of suspense kind of book. Then I have one of my favorite books ever, which is Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Paterson. This is a middle grade book, I would say, but it's just so sweet and so cute and so beautiful that it's just one of my favorite books ever. Then I have another well-loved classic, I would say, Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I read this, I think, earlier this year, and I really loved it. I think it's extremely profound. Then I have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I've also read this and I really liked it. I think that it does give a lot of food for thought in terms of, you know, vanity and charisma and aging and all of that. So I think it's a great classic as well. And then another absolute favorite book of mine is 84 Charing Cross Road by Helen Hanff. This is a non-fiction book, but I absolutely love this. If you're a book lover, you should definitely check this book out. I fell in love with it, I cried, and I read it over a period of 2 hours, I think. So yeah, that's the first substack. Talking about the rest of the miscellaneous stack, I have not read any of these. So I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Casey. This was part of a thrift haul as well. Actually, it's part of my very first book haul that I'd ever posted on this video channel, which I'll link up above. I have The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. This is a recent thrift pick. I bought this over an Instagram store. Then I have Perfume by Patrick Susskind. Yes, it is an explicit picture, but I'm not monetized on YouTube, so it's fine. I have Daisy Miller and the Turn of the Screw. I have read Daisy Miller and I did enjoy it, and the twist in the end is quite interesting, I would say. I could not get through the Turn of the Screw, so I DNF'd it, but I'm going to count this as a read book, you know. I make the rules, it's fine. Then I have The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This is also a part of that Secret Santa 6 book haul that I had mentioned, so yeah. And the last 2 thin volumes, I have The Prophet by Khalil Gibran and I have Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman. Both of these I've covered in multiple thrift hauls that I've posted in this channel. So yeah, that's the final miscellaneous stack that I have, which I'll place here. Stack 2 is my Russian authors stack. Bear in mind, I have a lot of Russian books and I've not read any of these. So let me show them to you. Oh God, how do I? So this is the Russian stack. I also have War and Peace, which is lying next to my bedside table, and I'm too lazy to go get it. But I am currently kind of making my way through it, and hopefully I will get to finish it. I don't know. I don't think I'll get to finish it this year, not in 2022, maybe early next year. But let's see. Anyway, the first two thin volumes that I have Laughter in the Dark by Vladimir Nabokov. I recently thrifted this. I'll link the video up above, and this was also part of the same haul. This is The Adolescence of Xenia Luvers by Boris Pasternak. I just think that both these editions are so well maintained and I couldn't resist. Then I have Mikhail Bulgakov, The Master and the Margarita. Again, a thrift haul, thrift pick, and I love this edition. I think it's stunning. Then I have a Penguin cloth-bound book. I have Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is a chunky thing, and I have not had the courage yet to pick it up. Maybe one day. Another Russian classic. I have Dr. Zhivago by I have Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. This is in the Russian vintage editions. I have War and Peace in the very same edition, and I think they are very cool. Again, have not read this. And then I have one of my prized possessions. I think this is Dostoevsky, The Idiot. I think this book is stunning. It's in those, like really adult looking editions, like it's leather and it's maroon and it's really grown up, and I think it's stunning. I think it has illustrations as well. No, that's the other one. So I have another one of this which I'll show you. But yeah, then starting with a bunch of like more Western classics, I would say. I have another one of these really gorgeous editions. This is Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. I think again, such a beautiful edition, and I'm so proud of it. I have Naked and the Dead by Norman Mailer. This is again part of the Matunga thrift haul that I have recently posted, and again from the same thrift haul I also have Emile Zola's Germinal. Again, such beautiful maintained old editions, and I just could not resist. Again from the same haul, I have Macbeth and the Emperor Jones. This is a Noble's Comparative Classics version of the two Shakespeare plays, and I just really liked the edition. Like, it has descriptions of the Shakespeare theatre, and it has like how to go about reading and studying Shakespeare. Like, it's very instructive, and again I thought it was a fun book, an informative book to have. Yeah, and then I have these two, what do you call these? These are the Penguin drop cap editions, I think. So they have released these books A to Z, and they're hardback colors, and each of them have the letter and the title from the letter of the author's last name. For example, this is Amy Tan. This is the Joy Luck Club. I've read this and I found it to be average, I think, but I just love this edition. It's the most gorgeous purple ever. And then this one is the I one. This is Kazuo Ishiguro, an artist of the floating world. I've not yet read this, but I love Ishiguro and I couldn't resist. This particular one is in a shade of green that you cannot miss. So yeah, these are the two drop cap editions that I have, and it's time to put them on the bookshelf. Then another small collection that I have are the Penguin cloth bound editions. I actually have 4 of these, but Anna Karenina is stacked with the Russian classics. I'd shown you that earlier. I just think that these are so beautiful for collecting purposes, and they're very they're not very reader friendly, I would say, because you can't really like lay them flat, and I've heard that the paint on the cloth also wears off very easily, but they look so pretty that I couldn't resist buying a few. The first one I have is Emma by Jane Austen, and the second one is actually a thrifted book. This is Sense and Sensibility, again by Jane Austen. I bought this on Bookchore, which is like a thrift second-hand bookseller webpage, and I just could not believe when I saw like a Penguin cloth bound on their website. I knew I had to have it, so I did. I actually have read Emma, I did really enjoy it, but I read it way back when I was younger. I've not yet read it in this edition, so yeah. And then I have one of my favorite classics, which is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Again, I've read this multiple times, but I've not read it from this edition as yet. But again, I knew I had to have like a really beautiful edition of this classic on my shelf. So yeah, those are my Penguin clothbound classic. Okay, so we're coming down to the last last two stacks, I promise. So the next collection that I have are these Everyman library editions. I think these are one of those editions which are so grown up looking, like they're so like elegant and mature, and I think that they look amazing on the bookshelf. Two of these are thrifted, and I've covered them in different haul videos. I have Italo Calvino, If on a Winter's Night a Traveler. I just think it's a beautiful edition, and it's so well maintained. I have tried to start read it, but I could not get into it. Hopefully I will soon. Then I have Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. Again, I saw this in the book market and I couldn't resist this cover. And also like the insides of these hard covers are the most gorgeous books. And then I also have The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I have not read this, and this is a new book. This was actually the first one I have in my collection. And this again is a stunning maroon color. I think this one is blue, right? Italo Calvino is the blue cloth. So yeah, love that. Right, so coming down to the last the last stack in the last few books. There's very little place left on the shelf, as you can see. And the last collection that I have are the Penguin, what are these called? The Penguin Classics Deluxe editions. I think these are one of the most beautiful editions ever. Like for example, they have like these animated covers, and they have French flaps and decollages, and I just think they're so beautiful. They're not fully illustrated, only the cover is illustrated, but I think they're so beautiful, and I couldn't resist indulging in a few. The first one I've read and I loved. I have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. As you can see, heavily annotated and really enjoyed. I have Saul Bellow, Herzog. This is a new one. I mean, it's not new actually. I think it's been a year probably, but I have not gotten around to it. So yeah. And then I have Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I tried to read this, but like the very first page of it tells you that you need to know Tom Sawyer before you know Huckleberry Finn. And I've read Tom Sawyer, but I read Tom Sawyer when I was really young, and I could not tell you two things about the book. So I was forced to put this one down. So this one really is on the book and not on me. And then I have James Joyce, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Again, stunning cover. Could not resist buying this one, and haven't read this one. Those are the 4 Penguin Deluxe Classics editions that I have, which find a place over there. So yeah, and the very last book on the shelf is Pride and Prejudice, again by Jane Austen. This is the very first like fancy classic that I ever bought myself. This is where the madness started. This was, I think, 2019, so three and a half years ago at this point, and I have just not looked back, if you could tell. But yeah, again, one of my favorite classics ever. Again, I've not read it from this edition. I had started to read it from this edition, but I just wanted like a pretty edition of this book on my shelf. So that was the initiative behind buying this one. So those are the books which sit on my second shelf in my bookshelves, and that finishes the end, and that is the end of my classics. I have shown you all the editions that I have and the collections of editions that I have. Don't worry, I'll give you a close-up of the shelf right now, and you can see how they're organized, and maybe it might make sense to you, the flow of what I've done. Okay, so here's the glimpse of the shelf, final look at it. It's all organized and it's all dusted. So this was the first stack that I talked you through, just a bunch of like miscellaneous classics which I have, most of them thrifted. Then I have my Russian classics right here, War and Peace is missing. For some more thrifted classics, the Penguin drop cap editions. Then I have my clothbound classics, the Everyman library editions, the deluxe classics, and then one Pride and Prejudice random edition over here. So yeah, that's the overlook on shelf 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still around, please like, share, comment, subscribe. If you liked what you see so far, please check out my other videos. They're very similar. And I will see you with the rest of my bookshelf. We are coming down into the trenches now. We are going to be covering my contemporary fiction, my Indian fiction, and my non-fiction shelves. And those need to be clean. Like these two ones are my most organized shelves. The bottom is a mess, so that's going to be a challenge to film, but I'm so excited to do it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.